What's up, Prealgebra students? This is lesson 32. Our objective for today is what is and how do you find probability? So I guess let's start off with what the probability is. The probability is the likelihood that a particular event will occur. We also call this chance, especially whenever we're using like the word percent. Like you got 50% chance of blah blah blah. Okay? With probability, it's always between 0 and 1 whenever we're using decimals of it. And that's inclusive, meaning it can be 0 and it can be 1. Or it could be between 0 and 100%. So this is kind of what it looks like. If it's 0%, or if the probability is 0, that means it's impossible. Like the likelihood of picking an alien from the classroom, that's a 0% chance because everyone, wink wink, is, at least all the students, are from planet Earth, so none of them are aliens. And then certain would be like 1 or 100%. So it'd be like, what's the probability of picking a TAA student from this class? Well, everybody from this class is a TAA student, so it's guaranteed 100% chance there. And then kind of halfway in the middle is a half, or 50%. So it's as likely to happen as not to happen. So anything kind of bigger than 50% and less than 100 we say is likely. Anything smaller than 50 but more than 0% is unlikely. Not very probable to happen. So if you want to find the probability of an event or of something occurring, you're going to take the number of favorable outcomes, or meaning the number of chances that you would be happy with that result, and divide it by the number of possible outcomes, so however many possible outcomes there are in total. Now the probability and the chance are synonyms, but there's a little bit different word that's kind of similar to it called the odds. Odds is a ratio of the favorable events, meaning the ones that you want to happen, over the ones that are unfavorable. And when we're working with odds, we always use like a semicolon there. So let's see if we can put this to use here. So this is like example 1. It says, if you roll a number cube or a dice, what is the probability of getting a number bigger than 4? So maybe you're playing a game and you need a number bigger than 4 in order to beat your opponent or something. So what are your chances? What's the probability of rolling a number cube? Well, first of all, if we were to roll a number cube, the options that I could get would be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. So a favorable outcome would be as if I actually roll a number bigger than 4, which would just be 5 or 6. So I have two options for rolling a favorable outcome. And then notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total outcomes. So the probability of rolling something bigger than a 4 is 2 over 6, but of course we want to simplify that down, which would be 1/3. So probability would be 1/3, or 33.3 repeating percent. Okay, so it's either 1/3 or 33.3 repeating percent. Or I guess if you want to write it as a decimal, you could say 0.3 repeating. So that's the probability. Now, what are the odds of rolling a number bigger than 4? Well, we already talked about that we have two favorable outcomes. But notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4 unfavorable outcomes, or ones that we don't want to happen. So the odds of rolling something bigger than 4 is 1 to 4. 1 to 2. 1 to 2 because I divided both these by 2. So the odds are 1 to 2, but the probability is 1/3. So notice those are slightly different. Alright, let's talk about things that happen maybe more than once. It says a coin is flipped 2 times. What's the probability of getting only heads? Alright, so let's just make a little table here and what that would maybe look like. On the first flip, I could either have heads or I could have tails. On the second flip, I could either have heads or I could have tails. So notice, if on the first and the second flip I both got heads, I'd have heads, heads. Second, or maybe I might have tails, heads. Or I might have tails, heads. Or I might have tails, tails. So we're wondering, what about only heads? So the only favorable one is that one. So there's one favorable one. And notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different options for if I flip that coin 2 times. So it's going to be 1/4. I don't know why I changed colors there. 1/4. And again, any one of these would be a fine answer, which would be 0.25 or 25% chance there. Okay, so that would be the probability of getting only heads. So that's one way to kind of figure those out, is to use a table like this. Okay, another way is to kind of use a flow chart. Whenever we start getting more than 2 items, a flow chart is actually maybe a little bit easier. So it says a couple wants to have 3 kids. What's the probability of getting all one gender? So let's see, the first kid could either be a boy or a girl, right? The second kid could be a boy or a girl, or a boy or a girl. And then with the third kid, it could be a boy or a girl. Here I could have a boy or a girl. Here I could have a boy or a girl. This one could be a boy, then a girl. Okay? So now, to come up with all the different possibilities, we kind of just follow these lines. So this one would be boy, boy, boy. So that's my first option. Boy, boy, boy. It's supposed to be a B. Next option would be boy, boy, girl. Boy, boy, girl. Or I could have boy, girl, boy. Or boy, girl, girl. I could have a girl, boy, boy. Girl, boy, girl. A girl, girl, boy. Or a girl, girl, girl. Okay? So what's the probability of getting only one gender? Notice this one here has only boys, and this one here has only girls. So those are the only 2. So I have 2 possibilities of getting all one gender. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different possibilities. So then that would reduce to 1/4, which is kind of similar to the one up there. So, or we could say 0.25, or we could say 25% chance. So it's unlikely that all 3 of them would be the same gender. Okay? Your homework down there on the bottom of this page is on page 214. You can do the practice set all of them from lesson 32 and 31, and then 9 more of your choice. Do an awesome job.